The balance of the world is fracturing. It was never meant to open. Guthix's archive.
Ooh. Old School RuneScape is showing off its upcoming content for 2026. Let's have a look.
Well, we kind of want to do a funny travel style infomercial for Vampyrium, and we want you, Rice, to do the voice.
Okay, just so you know, I think this is a shit idea and there's no way I'm gonna... Are you tired of vacationing without the fear of imminent death? Well, cast away your stress and open yourself up to the overwhelming horrors of Vampyrium!
This is so bizarre.
The Blood Moon rises. In this Grandmaster quest, you'll face off against Lawernial Drakan himself in our hardest quest PVM encounter yet. I think it's time to reveal a little bit more about the area you'll be visiting during the quest. The vampire's ancestral home, Vampyrium.
Everything in Vampyrium is out to get you. Once you step inside, you instantly feel unsafe.
The landscape is stained crimson from the rivers to the trees. Every inch of the biome is built to extract. It's parasitic and bloodthirsty.
The plants are spiky, carnivorous, and aggressive. Like
Makes
if
sense.
Karamja and the Stranglewood has some sort of up baby.
You'll see high-level creatures roaming.
Oh, what is that? The deer looks like its head has been squished in. Ooh, gross. And that must be like a mosquito scorpion on the left there. There's an actual mosquito with its belly hanging out at the bottom there. It sort of looks like a Gorok as well. Like if a Gorok and a vampire had a baby, that's what would spit out of it. That looks pretty much like a grizzly bear that you'd find on Vampyrium.
And even if they choose not to become aggressive, it's going to put you on edge. It's an entire ecosystem like nothing you've ever seen before in Old School RuneScape, ruled by a blood-based hierarchy.
Thirsty creatures
Kittens!
won't hesitate.
Oh, look how cute he is. Oh, that's not good.
Including our new
Oh, little puppies.
Maggot King.
What the shit is that? Maggot King.
We have Venators,
Okay, those things look like weird.
Snakes,
softer leeches,
Nilochus,
I was expecting more spiders.
snail,
Vampire snails. That's quirky. I like it.
koala bears,
That's not a koala bear. That's a drop bear, and it's terrifying.
I'm sorry, koala bears?
well, koala bear adjacent,
this pathetic purple guy.
dire bats,
And of course, maggots. So many maggots.
Maggots are one of the many horrors found in Vampyrium. These parasitic creatures lay their eggs upon corpses, only to then be eaten by one of Vampyrium's many predators. The
Gross.
eggs then hatch within the predator, and the maggot begins to grow. These maggots will then use the body of their former host as a puppet, with them now becoming the predator. At this stage, these maggots are known as progenitors, but the vampires also gave them another name, the Maggot Kings. Maggot Kings are one of Vampyrium's deadliest creatures, and you'll be able to take on one of these horrors in a new, repeatable, post-quest boss encounter.
They sound like a pest that not even Vampyrium's citizens want to have around.
If you're more of a skiller than a killer, we've also got some new activities coming in Vampyrium. First, we have the Bloodwood trees.
Bloodwood trees are in RuneScape 3.
These medium-sized trees are native to Vampyrium, with reddish-brown bark and blood-red leaves. Their sap is also blood-red, giving them their name. Next,
Surprising.
we have the Stimfikes. These are predatory birds found on Vampyrium. They primarily hunt Letvek, impaling their prey on sharp branches before drinking their blood.
So I bet you need to capture the Letweks or whatever those tiny things are, and then probably bait the trees with them so you can capture the birds themselves for hunting.
Finally, we have the leech fins. These are lamprey-like fish living in Vampyrium's rivers. Using sucker-like mouths, they latch onto other fish to feed on blood and fluids.
Have you noticed that everything on Vampyrium has a lot of teeth? Because I noticed that.
Let's talk rewards. Beating the quest itself will give you access to the next flail upgrade. This is a new best-in-slot weapon against vampires. You'll also gain access to another new untradeable reward, a mid to late game special attack weapon that, unsurprisingly, is also very effective against the Bitey Brigade. But the real rewards can only be earned as loot from repeatedly smooshing the Maggot King. First, we have the Seeker arrows, which are modified arrows that can be fitted with any arrowhead to increase the equivalent arrow stats.
Oh wow. So it's a new arrow handle type, not necessarily a tip type.
Next, we have the Necklace of Pursuit, which is the new best-in-slot ranged necklace. The creation process will be similar to the Amulet of Rancor, with some
That's good because that had a great upgrade process. Essentially using older items and a new item to combine into a strong weapon.
with some improvements made to make it more easily tradable. Finally, we have a new melee weapon, the Crimson Bludgeon. The Crimson Bludgeon is a new competitive crush DPS spec weapon. Its special attack costs 50% energy, dealing between 70 to 110% of your max hit while making 4 accuracy rolls. This is one of our
That's a lot of accuracy rolls. They really want that thing to hit, huh? I will say that the old school team has done a fantastic job with the Vampire region. Is so full of content, and it's going to be so exciting to check out Vampyrium once that comes out.
Visit Vampyrium today! Call now and get an extra 50 maggots completely free!
I better do that then. Hey, I better do that. Let me just call the number. Oh my god, what happened to you?
Oh, God. Sorry, I got way too into it, didn't I?
Yeah, you drained Mod Q of all of his blood.
Oh, shit.
No, not Mod Q. Summer okay. Cool. Excited for that. That's going to be good.
Well, that certainly was one of the videos of all time.
Obviously, everything that's being announced here will have to go through a poll because that's how Old School's process works. You have to vote on it. And if it passes the poll with a certain amount of percentage, I think it's 75 or 70%, then it will get added to the game. Some of these things might also have already passed the poll. So,
could you tell us a little bit about Vampyrium and what makes it feel different from anywhere else that we've explored before?
Yeah, so Vampyrium is horrible. It's probably the best way to describe it.
Looking forward to it. To Bloodman Rises this year.
yo, this place is horrible. Hey.
It is this horrific wasteland with horrors the likes of which you've never encountered before. And it's really fun to be able to do something completely and utterly the opposite of what we did with Valamor. In fact, a better comparison might be some of the stuff we did with Desert Treasure 2, some of the areas we saw in that quest. But unlike with that quest of Vampyrium, like, it's not just an area you'll be visiting during the quest. It is a whole new area that you get to explore in the quest and then go there after the quest.
Very cool.
Engage in some exciting but potentially horrifying new pieces of content.
Well, for skilling activities, I'm really excited. We've got some wood cutting happening, but it's not about chopping trees, it's about collecting sap to make brand new arrows that will make your strikes more accurate than they've ever been.
Oh, so the arrows have extra accuracy on them. Okay.
And we've got some new hunter activities that we're looking to blend a little bit of AFK-ness into the hunter skill that's previously been missing, but you'll have to earn it, or you can buy it off the G. Although you're earning it by game. Anyway, earning it by making money. And we've got some fishing in the form of leechfin fishing, which we're looking to sort of do a little bit of a spin on some of the stuff you saw in the Perilous Moons caves, the river fishing. That will be coming back in a new and better form. As far as rewards go, we've got a new competitor for special attack weapons. We've got the Crimson Bludgeon. Filling in the sort of crush gap alongside the Dragon Claws. We've got a brand new best in slot ranged upgrade for you that's sort of like going to fill out the trifecta or the eventual trifecta that the Rancor started. You kill some monsters, you get some emulsifier, that makes your wood cutting better. Maybe while you're wood cutting you find some maggots and that makes your fishing better. And it's all sort of a web rather than a bunch of isolated activities.
Okay.
That exist for you to engage with completely separately.
All right, new Slayer creatures as well. We've seen those. Venators. I hope I said that right. Venator. Yeah.
Also, they're a
Any
Slayer
relation
creature,
to
okay?
Venator? But they're meant to be a new way of gaining blood shards, and that's something that players often ask about. Can you explain how that fits into the ecosystem of Vampyrium?
Panic saddle blood shards.
People have been complaining that Firewatch Sentinels don't have a task-only alternative, so that is what the Venators will be providing you with, a way to go and do your vampire tasks when you're on task that you won't be bothered by people who aren't, unless they've been hunting stimfikes. So if you don't want to hunt for a vampire task, you can go and hunt some stimfikes, bring their feathers, and possibly be able to hunt them off task. But again, you'll need to earn it, so the density of people doing it will be a lot lower.
Okay.
It's also a more active way, so it's not just Firewatch Sentinels with higher stats. You've got options, not ones that require you to engage with them in order to not die, but options that you can engage with to go faster. And if you do engage with them, you'll be getting blood shards a lot quicker than you would at Firewatch.
Okay.
But we've got one much bigger boy involved in all of this, the Maggot King. Can you tell us more about that beast, Ed?
One of the lovely bits of wildlife you'll find on Vampyrium are these lovely little fellows called maggots. And they like to just they come along, they find a corpse, like, oh, wonderful. What they'll do is they'll lay their eggs on that corpse, and then some other nice beastie from Vampyrium, maybe a Venator, for example, comes along and goes, corpse, food, fantastic, love it. Has a nice bit to eat, eats the eggs as well, and the maggot literally grows inside the, whatever it is, the Venator or other beast of Vampyrium that has eaten this corpse, until the maggot eventually bursts out of the host, killing them, and then using them as a puppet to wander around, protect themselves until they can reproduce themselves. So it's
Lovely.
really nice circle of life they've got going on there.
It's not a good day out, is it?
And yeah, the Maggot
joking
King
when he said it was horrible.
is one of these maggots that is at the stage where it has it was inside a Venator. It has now burst out, so you have this horrifying like Venator with this maggot sort of like half protruding out of it, and it's still like controlling the body of a Venator and like using it to help it find somewhere to lay its eggs. And you might be a tempting target.
Yes. Don't eat the eggs. Don't.
We have Deadman Annihilation, which is launching in just 5 days' time on January the 30th.
I don't really PK. It doesn't really matter to me, but
To be honest, there's a
maybe
lot
I'll jump in,
that goes on
try it
with
out
Deadman,
a little
but
bit.
By far, the absolute best one for you to get stuck into if you've never experienced it before, or if you have in the past, didn't really enjoy it that much, felt it was a bit too punishing. It's way more friendly and approachable than it ever has been before. So many great changes that should help just make it just feel a lot better, and some of the rewards are also bloody damn fantastic.
And we've also spiced up the finale format this year by splitting players randomly into 2 factions for a portion. We've also plenty of sick cosmetic rewards on offer too.
I really like the fact that sigils have moved to a point system, because it just means that everything you do, you're progressing. Like when you kill a boss, when you get any single level, you get points for that. And the fact that you can have so many sigils on at once, you'll actually be pretty powerful compared to previous Deadmans. So I really like the sigil change. The loot chests as well are like, that's going to be so good. Like the fact that you have to stay there for a while, then like your friends can come and help you, and then there's going to be, it's like a little flashpoint. There's extra bits of PvP content. I think that'd be really cool.
80% of the sigils are just permanent to your character. So like Solar Mission said, you're a lot stronger, but then also if you're, for example, skilling or PVMing, you can have PvP sigils enabled as well. So it just puts everyone on a much fairer playing field, which we haven't really had in the past.
It does really feel like they're trying to push Deadman towards more casual players, maybe to get more people into PvP. It is very dominated by the people who know what they're doing, and I mean, understandably so, those are the people who enjoy it the most because they get the most kills and most progress. The new players, the people who don't really know what's going on, they suffer, then they'll lose all their items and they'll stop playing, you know. Might completely put them off PvP altogether, so... Inside a church? Why is it foggy?
It always begins the same.
Oh, it's leagues.
The sage calls, and the mortals dance.
Leagues.
But this time, I was listening. Her trials amuse those who watch from above. Yet none ask what lies beneath.
Yama.
I have watched their endless games. Their souls are mine. This league is mine.
Oh, Yama was talking. Oh, 666.
Is mine.
Coming in April. Creepy. That'll be interesting.
A little bit terrifying.
Slightly menacing.
You know, I kind of wish that they'd be showing more things. They talk a lot, but they're not really showing much. The RuneScape 3 reveals was fantastic because it just showed so much stuff.
So sailing won't be a part of this league.
Oh.
We think, you know, it'd be pretty cool if, you know, people who normally just play leagues get a chance to do sailing. They could have done it, you know, if they hadn't got there in the main game. But we think it's quite crucial that players experience sailing as we kind of intended it.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's kind of.
No sailing in the league then. I agree. It's a good decision to not have sailing in the next league, yeah.
Yeah, we want to give it time to breathe.
We mentioned some talk of the rewards. So we have here, this is the Yama's Throne, I believe.
Oh, Yama's Throne.
Yes,
I will say Demonic Throne looks more like Yama's Throne, but
I don't think we nabbed it. It's more like a really nice replica, I would
Yeah.
say. I don't think Yama would give it away like that.
the league's outfit, ooh, that looks pretty demonic. I like the teeth in the tier 3.
And here there are ornament kits for a variety of different items.
Trident of the Seas ornament kit, Trident of the Swamp. Both of those look pretty good. Iban's staff gets some extra spikes. A black, silver, and red Soul Reaver axe. Iban's blast gets a different visual effect of the attack when you have the ornament kit on the staff. Seems like Trident's spell also gets that. Oh, Slayer Helmet recolor for Oath Plate sets. Also seems to add the plume, the feathers from the Oath Plate's helmet onto the Slayer helmets.
We had to, right? We had
Yeah,
to.
we had
The
to,
only
yeah.
other thing that's iconic with Yama, apart from his things.
There's a Demon Butler reskin.
You know, jazzed up, you know.
He looks so snazzy in his suit.
You must be
He
rich.
needs to dab up. He needs to dab up.
Oh, this is a cool teleport animation. You've got imps teleporting in around you. Then they walk around you to create a summoning circle. Yama's hand comes out and grabs you and pulls you into the hole. And then they teleport off again.
And look,
Trolls.
even more minions.
Oh, the
yeah.
trolls.
Thrall imp
that's
reskins.
actually a little
Interesting.
bit-
They look adorable. I like them.
Yes.
Oh, red skin as well.
You know, red skin. We've got to bring it.
Got to become
Finally,
the
we know-
demon.
Very blood red too. It's gonna fit great with the vampire stuff. Ooh, that's a nice banner as well.
Classic banner.
Quite good.
You can place a contract inside of the trophy. That's a nice touch.
Rewards aside, what about the boss variants? So they were very popular last league. Can you talk to me about what players can expect from boss variants this league?
Yes. So obviously last league we had Echo Bosses, which were really cool and just gave a nice spin.
Yeah,
on
Echo Bosses were neat.
As you know, they will be coming back.
I'm glad that they're coming back.
That was a big sort of design point of view for Raging Echoes was, okay, add these Echo Bosses, they drop things that make areas stand out. So like Fremenic got like the awesome necklace and the ring that was awesome, made people pick that over the league before. You know, giving Wilderness the Thunder Kopesh, which was, you know, maybe we'll replace it this time, but maybe we'll have something even more busted than that. Like,
Yeah, don't tell them that though.
Is there going to be anything brand new?
yeah, there will be. Yeah.
Do we get
New Echo items.
I want to ask around combat masteries. So we've mentioned before that they're going to be returning, but it looks like League 6, things are going to be a little bit different.
Yes, so we've basically really lent into the combat masteries this league, the big mechanic being demonic pacts. That's what the league's named after. And we're really leaning into it, more choice, less linear choices as well. We really hope this brings a nice sort of in-between of like the skill tree stuff and then also making creative builds. Like we saw, I don't know if it was last league or the league before, like the Bulwark build. Like we're hoping this sort of system provides so much creativity to our players to make those cool little builds that we haven't seen before, and it really changes up combat this time. I think I mentioned it in the blog, but we're not starting in Misthalin.
Oh, okay.
It's not starting in Lumbridge,
but not.
Yes.
Every single league so far has started in Lumbridge, so it's gonna feel so weird not starting there. I wonder if we'll start on Zaya in Yama's lair and then work our way out of there.
Relics will be coming back, right?
Yes, they will. New and refreshed. There will be some fan favorites that might come back that you've not seen in a while.
The starting area itself seems to be within a version of Yama's lair, and within his lair you'll be playing through the tutorial and also learning a little bit about what happened to the Sage and why the Sage isn't hosting this league and why Yama is. They also say that you'll be able to come back to the starting area anytime, so there's no need to feel bad about leaving it. Instead of combat masteries this time, we're getting demonic pacts, which essentially work the same way, but it's a similar system at least.
Trusted allies. The balance of the world is fracturing. Lucien's machinations threaten the world in ways even he could not have imagined. And despite every sacrifice, every loss, we must yet redouble our efforts.
This must be a sequel to the Majrat storyline.
Guardians of Armadil. It was never my desire to ask this of you. White Knights of Falador, we must put aside our differences.
Is this Ritual of the Majorat?
Adventurer, I ask that you bring your force to bear. We must continue to risk everything to stop the forces of destruction. It was never meant to open. Guthix's archive. The final resting place for objects of untold power stands exposed before us.
Sequel to While Guthix Sleeps.
Rages on between numerous factions. We will not be welcome. War cannot be allowed to rage on the surface, or we will never know peace.
Randos.
Chaos must be contained.
Dagon
The
High.
world will burn with its will.
Samarakian.
A lust for power shall not be satiated.
Tormented Demons.
Everything will be lost. We are the only ones standing in the way of an endless war. The power in the archive may aid us if we
What's
are
that?
strong enough. The balance must hold, no matter the cost.
Ooh, the Fractured Archive. Old School's 4th raid. Coming late 2026. Oh, it's Guthix themed.
We're kind of like cutting out a lot of the chaff. Like we're trying to like have like a bit of a lean, like focused experience. And
Right.
that's kind of the big part that we've seen over the past 3 raids is that the thing that people like the most is the bosses, is a reality, right?
Yeah.
So TOB obviously didn't have like any skilling content or anything like that, and that seems to be the format that kind of resonates the most. As much as it might not necessarily be everyone's favorite raid, it's definitely the one that stands out the most when people do have a favorite raid. So we kind of want to lean into that a lot more. So this raid is going to be like a more of a lean, focused bossing experience. No skilling, no puzzle rooms or anything like that. No invocation system. As much as there was like pros to that, there's obviously cons as well, and we just want to focus on having really good like epic bosses. The stats and things will be kind of like brought up to match what the current power level of the game is. Obviously the game, we keep adding more items and things like that. We kind of need the monsters to kind of represent that as well, otherwise it starts to get a bit wonky. So naturally the stats will just be higher, right? But mechanically, generally we're trying to push different avenues, make things feel different and exciting, and try and push our players a little bit more. And this raid's definitely trying to push in that direction and be kind of like the hardest raid of the kind of the set.
To be able to do stuff with Guthix, we've not really done too much with him, but despite how important he is, and to be able to take advantage of, we sort of alluded to this earlier, but tying it to while Guthix sleeps. So I guess on that note, what I can confirm is that while Guthix sleeps will be a requirement for this raid. It directly
that makes
follows
sense.
on from what happened in While Guthix Sleeps, and as the trailer sort of alluded to, it actually takes place back down in that cavern again. The other raids, it's kind of all been like new bosses, new creatures, that sort of thing, but with this one we've got a really fun mixture of like characters you've seen before in Old School, characters who you haven't seen in Old School but might know from RuneScape history, and some brand new ones as well, and that's both characters who are helping you, but also with the enemies you'll be encountering as well. But to say any more would be a spoiler, but I think it's going to be...
Just getting into it.
It's going to be really fun. This is our first raid where you're going to like walk in and there's going to be some of the bosses, you're like, oh, I know who that is, and that's really quite exciting.
That's going to be interesting.
To make things very clear, no, don't worry, you're not going to have to complete this raid to be able to keep continuing the Majorat storyline. This is, I guess, it's a spin-off of the Majorat storyline. It's sort of like it's a really fun way to sort of tie up that loose end of that archive and do some things with some characters who otherwise we maybe wouldn't have been able to do anything with. So it's not a direct continuation of the Majorat storyline. But as always with stuff like this, there might be a few little crossovers here and there and a few things to keep an eye on that might hint as to where the Majorat will be going in the future.
I think it's good that they're not continuing the story in the raid, because another game, Guild Wars 2, does include parts of the story in its raids. Like, you don't need the raid story in Guild Wars 2 either, but some quests will act as if you have completed the raid already, when being introduced to new characters that you might have met inside of the raid. So keeping them separate is a good idea, I think. And then also, just if you want to give it a story, give it a self-contained story where the characters in the raid don't really make a difference outside of the raid.
What do you want to say about rewards this early on?
What are the options? Like, the shadow from TOA was just obvious. It kind of just wrote itself, as much as there was a bit of a back and forth in that as well. The space was obvious. The space is less obvious here. And we're definitely going to be taking the journey with the players to figure out what this looks like and figure out where people's feelings.
Right, so they don't know it yet, basically. Right, so they don't know what the new Mega Rare is going to be yet, and they're going to talk more with the community to figure out what it is actually supposed to be. We've also got a sneak peek at the Raids for Environment Kit. This is what the area will generally look like. As with Gothixian things, it has a lot of nature elements tied into it, a lot of twisting branches and trees, a lot of green and naturey themes. As for creatures on the side here, it looks like there'll be butterflies, perhaps, maybe some four-legged animals. That almost looks like a capybara. Fox, tortoise, and some ents. We've also got some boss concepts. The Gothixian Archive Guardian, which we saw in the cutscene, very creepy. You can see the jaws of the skull have actually fallen off the skull itself, but they're still being held up by the vines. A very eerie depiction, and it reminds me of the early concepts of Gothics, if you've seen those. This very, very old picture from way, way back in the day. But obviously, even as recently as in the Gothixian temple during While Gothic Sleeps, you see the skull with what seems to be tendrils coming out of it. So keeping with the theme there, here we've got another Raids 4 boss called Ezekiel. Definitely seems like a fallen Saradomin knight using a two-handed katana almost. As far as I'm aware, there's no character in game that fits this name description, so it could be a new character.
I'm a little bit worried for this one. We've got something else that we need to talk to you about. It's not as big as a new raid, but it's still pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. We're going to welcome on some new guests. I have absolutely no idea how I introduced them.
What the heck?
Thank you. Thank you.
It's freshly milked.
Those onesies look so comfy.
I can't say that, can I?
Mod milk.
Oh, they brought milk. How considerate. I bet they milked themselves this morning.
Yeah.
That is so lovely. I'm personally more into chocolate milk myself, but you know, you gotta taste it. They brought it in.
Yeah, good quality milk.
I would say it's utterly terrific.
Kieran. Kieran, that was great.
What this project is actually about.
Wait, hold on. Let's actually do some proper introductions. I think we probably need to, despite the comedic effect here. Mod Arcane, Mod Acorn, welcome both to the live stream.
Can you pronounce it right?
Oh, Moody Arcane and
Mood.
Acorn.
You can take that.
How are you both doing?
I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Neither do I. I just drank your milk, man. What do you mean?
Well, I'm utterly fantastic.
Please explain.
Yay.
So, what motivated us to work on this project? It started with Game Jam. This is something that we work on once or twice a year. It's, for those that may not know, Game Jam's kind of a down tools day for 2 weeks where the mods can go around and just do whatever they want. They can make a quest. In this instance, we decided to work on a special boss. Our inspiration was there was kind of talks and chatter about how we wanted something low level for free-to-play players that was content that they could do in the same vein as Scurrius, but much lower level.
Okay.
And that's where...
Yeah, so we came up with a cow boss project, and we kind of wanted you to be able to like log in, you train for a couple of hours, you kill some cows, as everyone does, get your cow hides, and you kind of see this
Brutus the cow boss.
And you start asking a couple of questions, and you're like, I want to fight that.
Oh, that's cool.
Things like that.
They expanded the Lumbridge Eastern Cowfield. I like they have a warning sign in front of its pen, like, do not go in here.
You got like 15 strength, 15 attack, maybe you're in full iron armor, and you got a little bit of a boss with a couple of mechanics.
We also wanted something that's like easily accessible in the sense of where its location is, something that you can see right there as you're doing your regular training. So as you can see in the art that was shown there, it's like in the Lumbridge cow pen. You're already there, you're already doing cow killing, and you see something that looks a little bit more menacing, something a little bit more aspirational maybe, as you gain into your combat levels.
That thing is gonna mess up so many low-level players.
Content is the Ides of Milk. This is a quest that allows you to speak to a man named Cassius. So he really is on a mission to kind of get into that milk business. He wants you to help him take into the Lumbridge milk business. But unfortunately, there's a little bit of a snag in his plans. In order to have a business, you need a permit. Who would have thought, you know? In Gillinor, you need permits to have a business. So you will take on this quest to obtain a permit for Cassius. Grab the bull by the horns. You will learn about the principles of animal husbandry. And of course, you will drink some milk.
I think Kieran's basically polished his milk.
Honestly, I've got some left.
Kieran loves milk. Got strong bones.
Proper thirsty one over
It's
here.
really good.
It's so dumb. I love it. I'm excited for it.
Ludicrous of an idea it would be to add a scoreboard.
And the death counter. Because you never know.
You could
Oh, the death counter is going to be high. I already feel it.
World records are going to be out of this world.
Insane. Well, I mean, people have died to the gemstone crab, so I'm sure they can die to this as well.
Exactly.
Right. Anyway, what rewards can players expect?
Milk.
Cow slippers, they look so good.
This is able
Bottomless milk bucket. A cowbell amulet looking good. A muleta, is that what? It looks like a defender. And rump steak. That must be a new edible food item.
One extra effect, whilst wearing the cowbell amulet, you get to milk cows 1 tick quicker. 1 tick quicker, 6 ticks.
Huge. That's game changing. I can't believe they're adding something so powerful.
Milk stonks are going down.
You could hear the people behind the camera laughing.
So we got some cow slippers here. They're just a cosmetic. They're very cute. There's a lot of different variants of them as well. We have quite a
black
few
ones.
different alternative.
Oh, there's so many.
The rump
That's
steak.
cool.
There's also the new letter, which is equivalent of like Steel Defender. It's just slightly shuffled stats. Obviously,
Steel Defender, okay.
desirable.
It looks nice.
Pass it fairly quickly, but considering how low level this boss is, I think it actually has a bit of a place. The Bottomless Milk Bucket. A legendary reward. I'm sure this needs no explanation. Making cakes, churning butter,
making
like,
cheese.
like absolutely everything you can imagine.
Personally, I can't wait for the bottomless milk bucket.
He's just sucking down that milk, man. Aiza should give Kieran his milk. Clearly, Kieran needs it more.
I'm gonna get ahead of the chat here because, like, we've just seen the holy molies. Where's the holy cow slippers?
It's true, he has a point.
After we have our 7,000th Reddit post about it.
We were kind of done with the project, and we started to think, like, what about hard mode? Is that a meme? Is that funny? And we started thinking about it a little bit more, and we're like, this is objectively the easiest boss in the game, the lowest level boss in the game. What about if it was also the hardest? We created like a very simple hard mode version of the cow boss. It's very, very difficult. It's fairly predictable in terms of mechanics, but like it's going to take you a couple of attempts. It's locked behind some end-game content, so a low-level player can't stumble into it. Had like a bit of like an internal playtest, and some of the content creators gave it a little bit of a go, and no one managed to complete it. No one managed to beat it.
Wow.
It was just a bit of fun.
And for the next hour, everyone that was there was sat trying to kill the hard cow boss. So, yeah,
That's so great.
pretty damn
It was
good. You've
very
done a
fun.
really good job with it.
Even at like lunchtime, we had like Boaty coming up to us and saying, "Can you unlock the PC so I can continue playing hard mode boss during lunch?"
Is there a pet?
There is a pet, and the pet's called Beef.
Beef.
Aww.
Bow tie.
Aww.
What's gonna have to grind this pet? It's gonna be so cute.
A little cow with a bow tie sounds great.
The amazing sailing roadmap we've got coming up.
Oh, I'm excited for this. I love sailing.
Map is subject to change based on your feedback.
Whew. Now that we're out of the cold and off
Cute.
that sad excuse for a boat, it's time to get stuck into the roadmap. So, kicking things off in the spring, as the flowers begin to bloom
I actually love this animation of this character that's moving their mouth a little bit. That's so adorable.
and the hay fever sufferers cower in fear,
Pollen!
we'll be jumping straight back into the Tortugan questline with the Red Reef. In this
Exciting.
quest, you'll be going undercover and underwater to investigate a shady trading company.
I had a feeling we would be going underwater for the Red Reef. I mean, it's in the name, right? So this island here is called Red Rock. It's currently not possible to dock at the island until the quest releases. But you can see that this will be part of the shipment system based on the things on the right here. You've got a bounty board, you've got a deposit spot. So you will be taking boxes here and then moving them off of this island as well. Likely be able to pick up some combat challenges from here as well. On the top right here, you can see the statue, which we can activate to get the teleport here on the sailor's necklace. There's a lot of red brick here. There seems to be red coral probably there, and then red tapestry.
And promises no shortage of twists, turns.
Oh, we're going there. So this lighthouse is called the Last Light. It's located quite far south on the ocean map, and it was possible to walk around here during one of the alpha or beta tests of sailing, but it has since been removed from docking. So this must be part of the quest then in some way, since they're showing it off. On the top floor, there was a lot of blood splats, as you can see. There's also like saws and hammers. So it was clear that some mad doctor was doing some kind of experiments here. The lighthouse itself was completely destroyed. The inside was just collapsing. There was paper strewn all over the floor. It was definitely abandoned. There was also a red parrot inside of a cage. A lot of boxes of bones and stuff laying around.
Twists, turns, and swashbuckling pirates. For your troubles, you'll earn more trust from the Tortugans, granting access to a new woodcutting area.
Oh yeah, this is the Sacred Grove. Currently, it's not possible to enter there on the Great Conch. The Tortugan guard outside will tell you that you're not allowed into the Sacred Grove area where all these camphor trees are.
And most importantly, you'll be all set for the Tortugan Trilogy's epic finale later down the line.
Then, as the hot summer sun starts to burn those salty shoulders of yours, we'll have a brand new player-designed island for you to discover and explore. And I've got the first submission right here for you to discover and explore. And I've got the first submission right here, so let's take a look. Oh, well, we definitely can't use that one. Maybe we should have refined the guidelines a little. Many of you will remember that Varlamore itself began as a player suggestion years ago on the 2000scape subreddit. And after going through all of your submissions, our panel of JMods have selected 4 finalists. So what are you waiting for? Check it out in the blog that's live right now.
We've also heard your feedback loud and clear about the state of combat and sailing.
Yeah, sailing combat has been rough since launch.
And so, to fix this, we've decided to shoot Husky out of a cannon as punishment.
But it wasn't just me who worked on combat!
You're fired!
Oh, and we're also going to use your feedback to make combat better too. I just really wanted to shoot Husky out of a cannon. We're actively working on identifying the pain points and common frustrations that you have with boat combat. We want you to enjoy the proper fantasy feeling of commanding your crew as a seasoned captain.
I find it so weird that one of the best ways to do sailing combat is to attack things with your character while other things are shooting at the cannon. Like, why are we even using our character to fight things at sea? The cannons themselves should be the main, really powerful way of defeating enemies.
So, keep an eye out for a blog covering the full details of improvements to boat combat in the near future.
Then, as spooky season comes around in the autumn, we're gonna jump
Oh my god. I'm just joking.
with a brand new Barracuda trial.
Oh, cool.
You're welcome. What did I do?
Wait, if that wasn't you, then... Alright, so we can't tell you everything about the new Barracuda trial, mostly because it hasn't been made yet.
Right.
Here's what we can say. We're taking all the learnings from previous trials and incorporating your feedback to make sure this is the best trial yet.
A lot of my training for sailing was Barracuda trials. I really did enjoy them. I'd just turn on some music in the background and just like cruise around the courses over and over again. And eventually I got really good at the courses and I got all the rewards from them, and it was a good feeling. The experience was also always really good. Now that I'm 99 sailing, I probably won't have the same drive to do the courses after getting the rewards, but it's good that they're making a new one though, because I did feel like they kind of needed another one at maybe 90. At that point, you've been doing the crystal one from 70, so it's been 20 levels at that point. So having one from 90 to 99 would be good. But then if they make another one at level 90, it would have to be really good experience, right? And the crystal one already gives really good experience, so I'd say that the level 90 one would probably have to be about 400,000 experience an hour, which is really good for a skill, to be honest. that would scale it the same way as the previous Barracuda trials compared to salvaging. So it's going to be difficult to see what they decide to do for that. But I'm excited to see what kind of quirky new environment they make for the next one.
Even if they sometimes make you want to throw your monitor out of a window.
True.
But autumn isn't just for you speed freaks out there. We'll also be adding
What a flippin' noob. This is fantastic, man. I love this. Whoever thought of this section of the video, I want them to get a raise. This is fantastic.
Autumn isn't just for you speed freaks out there. We'll also be adding a brand new sequel quest for an existing storyline.
Gotta go fast.
Husky, stop it. You're gonna hurt yourself. That's right.
I'm crying over here, man. This is too good. Okay, what were they saying? New quest?
There's another adventure on the horizon. I can feel it on the breeze. Maybe we'll explore what Will and Anne are up to after they left us stranded on the Vampyrium. Or perhaps Bill Teach has got some news for us after our adventure on Harmony Island. I guess you'll have to find out when the time comes. Until then, sharpen those scimitars. There be pirates out there.
And finally, at the end of the year...
Oh no, he did hurt himself. He's got a cast on. Poor Husky.
And finally, at the end of the year, we'll have one last special gift just for you. That's right. It's a brand new Sea Expand.
But it's so cute. How could that hurt anyone?
When we launched sailing, we wanted to start with fewer, more focused sections of the ocean first, rather than giving you access to the entire sea map all at once.
Right.
That means there are still parts of Gillinor's Sea that don't have any content yet. We haven't decided on which ocean to expand into yet, but we'd like to explore how it might tie into the updates we talked about earlier, like the sequel quest or the new Barracuda trial. If you have any ideas, please let us know.
And
Exciting.
that's the 2026 Sailing Roadmap.
It looks good.
Isn't it beautiful?
Now, just one last thing before we go. We want to say thank you for all of the amazing feedback.
Oh, it was Aiza.
So far. Without it, sailing wouldn't be the skill that it is today. So thank you so much for watching, and please do enjoy the rest of the summit.
Sailing has been one of my favorite updates in a long time, so I'm super excited for the new things they're adding to it. I'd say it's one of my top favorite skills as well in Old School RuneScape. I mean, it goes without saying, I got 99 in it already, and I just kept playing it because I enjoyed it until I got 99.
Now, however, I've got some JMods to spec.
Oh god, run!
Jagex is a dangerous place to work.
I love that video. With the launch of Sailing, Old School's first ever new skill at the end of last year, it was such a huge moment for the game, players and us as staff alike. It was a monumental addition to Gillinor, but honestly, it was just the start. So throughout 2026, we have multiple sailing-focused updates to bring you even more to discover out on sea.
But we do want to point out that the roadmap's changed a little bit since we recorded that video, and we can show you the updated roadmap now. This has largely been driven by feedback, and we know combat's been something that has had...
Okay, so they've moved boat combat fixes earlier, and they've pushed the Red Reef back a little bit, but there's also a standalone combat update for sailing in the summer. So they must be doing easier combat tweaks earlier in the spring, probably to get people more into the combat of sailing, because I think most people avoid that at the moment. But generally for summer, things are staying the same. It has the quest now, but the autumn and beyond has stayed generally the same.
And the sea expansion listed in winter may come slightly later than that. So we've changed this to say beyond, and we'll give you more information as we're more confident on when exactly that will be.
That's perfectly fine. I think it's good that they're focusing on boat combat fixes because it really desperately needs it, rather than adding more content to sailing. It's already a good skill, but they need to fix boat combat really badly.
We are joined by Mod Elena, who is going to help us talk through all things sailing, and we've also got Jad as well.
Mod Jad to you.
Aww.
Mod Jad. Oh, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
See, this is why I brought Jad today, because Husky couldn't make it, and I figured I need someone here to handle the difficult questions. We don't actually know where the Barracuda trial is going to be yet. All we know is that, obviously, just like the other ones, it will be in a hazardous water somewhere. We know that there are a few hazards that we have already that don't have like super interesting mechanics. If you go to the icy ocean, for example, there's not really anything you can interact with that makes that journey more interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one potential. We're not quite sure where to go with it yet.
Over 1,500. So you're close, actually.
Yeah.
Wow, there was 1,500 player-designed islands submitted. That's crazy.
Let's take a look at our shortlist for the player-designed Sailing Island competition. The blog for this has gone live already. You should be able to see it on the
Kragen
but
by Sparrow V.
have
Fortress of Cliffs. It's located to the west of Lunar Island, inspired by Nordic islands, Scottish culture, and Slavic folklore. It's a good combination. 68 sailing to access. Has a quest called The Price of Silence. A boss to practice PvP, that's the concept. Bagpipes and war drums. Activity alternative to glass blowing, which is great for Iron Men. An active pre-sepulcher agility course, which is great because there isn't really any interesting parts to agility before sepulcher. And sepulcher unlocks at I think around 90, right? Cliff top agility. Here we've got some pictures of the Faroe Islands, generally inspired. The creation of Dan Nun Craig. As far as the island quest Price of Silence, it seems like Winter has decided to never leave this island, and we have to help the inhabitants of this island with that. Seems like they've accused an outsider that has settled on the island of being a witch, and that may have something to do with the quest. As for the boss itself, it said it was a PvP-focused encounter, meaning that it's supposed to train a PVMer in dealing with PvP encounters. So you've got the boss himself, who seems to switch attack styles based on what you're using. She will use defensive prayers, switch between the 3 combat styles. Correct offensive prayers must be activated, and Marana heals when on low health, so she must be KO'd to get knocked out. The crafting seems to be connected to shearing island sheep for rough wool, and you then tan the hides during the agility course. And here you have the course itself. So you start there, then you go up this way, go up here, and then you end on over there. So you have to run quite a ways to return back again. But you might end up pausing here to do the loom and gain your run energy back while you train crafting there.
Next one, which is Sea Gnome Outpost.
Sea Gnome Outpost by Ninja Pig. This one looks quite tropical in comparison. New Slayer Master. Tasks can only be completed on sailing islands. High point reward and keys that give sailing materials. New agility course as well. Agility is a popular one. People want better agility methods. Loot ship cargo and return it for either extra agility XP or sailing materials. Another giant seaweed patch, a new house portal, and a short quest to access the content. So it's definitely got gnomes on it in that case. So you can see the agility icon there on the south side. The exclamation mark takes you down into a cave where the Slayer Master is, and then there's another exclamation mark on the left that takes you to the bigger cave with the altar, the farming stuff, and the bank as well. It also looks like there's a spirit tree on the island. There's a gnome glider, obviously, so both of those are gnome related, makes sense. And then there is also a fishing spot and a herblore store, perhaps.
To me, it felt really different. Like, I wasn't expecting gnomes on islands, but here we are. Suddenly there's sea gnomes. It's basically a Slayer Master that only gives you tasks that are on the new sailing islands. How you define islands, like
I think Lunar Island would be considered an island in this case. I think that any island that you can dock at should be considered an island. Now, obviously, the main landmass is technically somewhere you can dock as well. But I mean, like, if there's only one dock on the landmass, then it likely is an island. I know that there's 3 docks on Karamja. That one I would still consider an island, to be honest, but you know, for the landmass, there's a bunch of docks all over. I think as long as it's not part of the mainland, it would be considered an island. Mainland including Zaya and then the original continent. So those 2 would just not be islands.
does it really need like 3 teleports? Because I think the gnome glider kind of does the trick. So it might not need like a POH portal as well.
Yeah.
That's nitpicky. Like, overall, it's really...
I agree. I think you could remove the spirit tree and the house portal and just have the gnome glider here. I don't think it's necessary to have all 3.
Designers that are working on that will be working with the creator directly to make sure that, you know, that they're kept up to date with everything that's going on in terms of the changes and that they're happy with it. Is that right, Lena?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so like certain details might change. So when you're voting on this, like, vote on more so the concept of this island and what it offers, rather than the details, because the details might change. And obviously we'll pull individual things just like we do with any other project, so it's not like a package deal.
Next up we have Worms Craig. Hopefully I've
Worms
said that right.
Craig by Rosen McGeet. It's a very cool render of the island. Do we not get a map of this one? Here's a map of Worms Craig. We didn't get that on the live stream. So we got some rare trees. There's a hunter spot. There's a cave, fishing spot there and there. You've got a bank and you've got a spinning wheel, tannery, a loom. You seem to dock at the north side of the island, so there's quite a run to get to the little town, and then quite a far run to get all the way over. I also noticed there's a mining spot, an anvil, and a smelter. An agility shortcut there that seems to take you up to a cave entrance, but there's also a cave entrance down there. Features a quest, Fallen from Grace, the golem crafting activity, a goat hunting activity, and a mini boss called the Mad Angel. The quest itself seems to revolve around the Mad Angel being a protector of the island, but coming at a price, and it seems like one of the inhabitants' sons is now up for the chopping block, and something has to be done about that. The golem crafting training method seems to involve mining sunstone to then chip it into sculpting golems, and then you clothe them afterwards through crafting. That seems to be optional. And you do that through hunting the pelts and then turning that into clothes. The goat hunting seems to be similar to sheep herders quests, so I'm a little bit dodgy about that one, but they do mention that it should be implemented in a better, smoother way that isn't as annoying as the quest was. So I guess, yeah, that's that. And here's the Mad Angel. Looks quite Saradomini. Uses well choreographed melee attacks, much like Soul Heredit. Perfectly timing a protection prayer to the tick her attack lands will reduce its damage to 0 and delay her next attack. There also seems to be a cavern with a Slayer Master, so Slayer Masters have been very popular. You got some worms and lava strike worms in there. Oh, this one's been drawn by hand. That's kind of cool. By W. Hawks. And this one also has an agility course. 3 out of the 4 islands so far has had an agility course. There's some agility glowing pools, whatever that means. There's a shipwreck with a locked chest on it. A handful of different snails, it seems like. Rock crabs, frost crabs.
4th shortlisted entry is Slime Spire by Will. Elena,
Oh, it's called Slime Spire. Okay.
tell us a bit more about this one.
Makes sense with all the snails.
It's all about sort of slugs, I suppose, and snails. And it's quite a hardened rock out in the ocean. There's an agility course. The idea is that you kill different things, you do different things on the island, you get keys, you unlock
Right.
this chest.
Okay. Here we've got the Slug Island concept art. It's quite steep, actually, now that I look at it. The hunting activity there of looting seabirds involves baiting a feed station, waiting for the birds to leave the nest and approach the bait, and then looting the nest itself. As for combat changes to sailing, they've talked a little bit about that, so let's dive into it. At the moment, they are planning to split the original cannonballs used in the Dwarven multi-cannon away from sailing, and calling the old cannonballs Dwarven cannonballs and Dwarven granite cannonballs. This, they say, will allow them to give you more sailing cannonballs per metal bar, and that lets them scale up the amount of cannonballs you get very nicely from the standard metal bars. They do say, though, that if you have turned bars into cannonballs already, they will not be able to refund you, obviously, because there are places you can get cannonballs from currently in game. They can't just double or triple those. They're also looking to increase the amount of cannonballs you get from creature drops. And they also say they're not looking at ammo saving mechanics for cannonballs currently, but there's always room for that in the future. As for how ship combat works, they are looking into that as well. And they say that they're putting a heavier emphasis on range weapons and range bonus. So the range skill itself will tie more closely into ship combat, it sounds like. They're playing with the idea of range accuracy and strength on your armor, reflecting your cannon's damage. They're also looking at slowing down the cannon fire, but increasing the damage so you get more damage per cannonball while keeping the DPS the same. And finally, they're looking at removing the damage reduction player combat does towards sailing creatures. So right now, if you use range or magic on a creature in the ocean, it will reduce the damage because they want ship combat to do more damage. But here they're looking into removing that so that you will do full damage with your standard skills, so magic and range, meaning that at high levels in those skills, you will likely do more damage mainly through your weapons and armor rather than cannonballs, and then cannonballs being like really strong thralls instead of it being the main damage output. They're also including an AFK method of doing ship combat, where they have a new button called Fire at Will. which crewmates will, if toggled on, just attack whatever they see. They say that this means you don't have to keep selecting every single creature you want to attack, and it's more in line with auto retaliate in the overworld. They're also proposing a new source for the dragon cannon barrel, something called the Veiled Kraken, found in the Tangled Kelp. This will be a new high-level sea monster. They also know that there's a meta at the moment to wiggle your boat back and forth to use both of your cannons to shoot something in front of you. They're looking to remove that and then instead give you 2 hotspots on one side of the ship, so you can always use 2 cannons in that direction. There's still a restriction of only having 2 cannons on, but there will be more hotspots essentially. They're also keen to add ship versus ship combat, but not necessarily against other players, but just attacking enemy NPC ships. They're talking about doing that through the Red Reef quest, so potentially there could be a ship combat battle during the Red Reef quest. They want to focus on the main combat changes to sailing first before they commit to something, but they think this could be a cool avenue to explore further, and I think that's a great idea. They also talk a little bit about the quality of life changes that got a lot of popular opinion, being movable facilities on your boat to move things around. They've got rapids for traveling quicker around the sea, port tasks filtering to only show tasks you can do rather than tasks above your level, facilities being upgraded at a reduced cost, hide locations that have already been charted, allow the Medallion of the Deep to be used on Fossil Island, which I guess works as a sort of diving apparatus at the moment, but it just doesn't work on Fossil Island. I think it should do that. Being able to use the special attack button for wind motes, a spyglass cutscene skip button, and of course many more things. They're also proposing to increase the weighting of Griffin tasks from Vanaka and Chialder's Slayer Masters, and then also add an optional task extension, because people have been saying that Griffin tasks are too rare, and it's really difficult to hunt for the unique items and the pet. There's a lot in this sailing blog, so if you want to go over all the details, then I'd recommend you reading through it yourself, but I touched on the main points. I love Modelena's hoodie with all the swords on it. That's so cool. It has RuneScape 25 on it as well, so that must be the design for a new hoodie. I wonder if it's a moderator, like employee only hoodie, or if you'll actually be able to buy those, because I love the design on the back.
Let's have a quick look at Oldschool's roadmap for this year, because there are some things that we've not talked about in there.
Right, what have they not talked about? Let's have a look. So in autumn, they're adding bingo community features where you can create your own bingo events. Towards the end of 2025, they had a bingo card event called Gridmaster. That's probably a new iteration of that. Here it seems you'll be able to make your own though. The previous one gave you a full grid of locked in tasks you had to complete though. Easter, Halloween, and Christmas is coming back. New quests that haven't been announced so far, and cosmetic rewards.
We'll be doing another sweep up this year, following the huge success of the summer sweep up in 2025. So expect a bunch of blogs going into detail on a whole host of changes you'll get the chance to vote on. We're talking skilling, PVM and combat systems, world/UX polish, and much, much more.
Something they didn't talk about at all, and they've mentioned it in the Winter Summit 2026 overview blog post, is the new renderer that they've been working on for HD old school RuneScape. So they seem to still have some issues with it. They're still working on it to iron out all those graphical glitches and stuff that happen. They still don't have a release date for it, but they're still trying to get the new renderer out, and then they can subsequently afterwards release the HD lighting and all that. Water render details and stuff. What they have announced though, which isn't the big deal because we've got RuneLight plugins, they're putting a pin into the API thing until they've gotten the renderer out and ready and working, and then they will continue work on the API support. Official API support being that you'd be able to create plugins for the Jagex official client rather than the RuneLight fan-made client. They're also planning on releasing new locations for servers. They seem to be focusing on Latin America first here, which is interesting because I've seen a lot of support for Asian servers. So it's interesting. There must be a large amount of people in Latin America in that case that would like to benefit from better servers. This year's also Oldschool RuneScape's 13th birthday, but because it's an anniversary milestone year for RuneScape as a brand, they are doing a celebration event in February, so next month, celebrating 25 years of RuneScape in Oldschool RuneScape. So stay tuned for that. I will be covering that on this channel, obviously, so if you make sure to subscribe to get a notification on that. But yes, look forward to a 25th anniversary event on Oldschool RuneScape starting in February. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed my little rundown of all the updates that were announced for Oldschool RuneScape in 2026. If you did, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe for more RuneScape update news and videos, and I'll catch you later.